Some of us spend our time playing new releases, or whatever games are in the charts. I, on the other hand, prefer the finer things in life. A great game is like fine wine and gets better with age. But like a fine wine, sometimes these commodities hold significant value. You may not be able to afford thousands of classic games, but I certainly can. So I am here to educate you and share with you my experiences with some of the best games of all time. With the release of Star Fox Zero finally set for some point this week, I thought it was time to revisit one of my favourite franchises ever, Halo. Halo is a military science fiction first-person shooter, which was developed for the original Xbox. Obviously you know I am only joking, Star Fox is in the bloody title to this video! And as if I would like lowbrow nonsense like Halo anyway, it's designed for Neanderthals, who shoot first, then think later, like the US military. On the subject of Star Fox, as half of you will be aware, Star Fox in European territories was renamed to be Starwing. See, I am sure you were ready to jump down my throat because you thought I may not mention that fact. But then again, you probably believe that the name change was due to copyright issues and a name clash with the 1987 title Star Fox, which was available for the ZX Spectrum and Commodore 64. But I can confirm new light on this case. The previous information appears to be untrue, and one of the British developers of the game recently said, and I quote, "I can't be sure, but I seem to remember vaguely someone at Nintendo telling me that there was a company or something called Star Fox in Germany, and because F is pronounced like a V there, they had to change the name to avoid confusion. I think by the time the Star Fox Command and Star Fox 3D came out, the company was defunct, or perhaps the lawyers simply decided there was no product confusion anymore. The only story I know is the Star Fox one, because it was an interesting problem, which is why I remember it." See? You thought you was going to be the one correcting me by telling me Star Fox is known as Starwing in Europe, but in contrast, I am the one correcting you, telling you your C64 and ZX Spectrum stories are absolute balderdash. 1-0, back of the net, knowledge is power. Star Fox AKA Starwing in Europe and Australia was released for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System in 1993. It was developed by Nintendo EAD and programmed by Argonaut Software. It used the Super FX chip to simulate 3D graphics during a period of predominantly 2D games. Fox McCloud and his team, Slippy Toad, Peppy Hare and Falco Lombardi, take on Andros, who threatens to overthrow the Lilat system. This was one of the very first games I played on the console way back in 1993, and I have many fond memories playing this game. But I hear many idiots saying, I don't like this game, the graphics are really ugly and the frame rate's really bad. Seriously? What bloody shallow complaints? I don't remember once ever playing this game and think about the graphics or frame rate. I remember focusing on the gameplay. I grew up with this bloody game. You merely adopted Star Fox. I was born into it. Moulded by it. I never saw a 3D game with good graphics till I was already a man. Personally, I think the game looked great then and still looks great now. But the question is this all just nostalgia talking? Let's take a close look at this game and see if it's still worth playing in 2016. So the background story, according to the manual, is that there is a solar system near the centre of the Milky Way galaxy known as the Lilat system. 3 of these planets are home civilizations with industrious inhabitants, whilst all the other planets in the system provide a boundless amount of natural resources. A gentleman known as Dr. Andros, who worked in a lab on Corneria, 4th planet of the Lilat system, was banished for conducting experiments at the heart of the planet's most populated city. Dr. Andros fled to the planet Venom, where he built a massive military base and declared himself Emperor. With his newfound power, he intended to take over the Lilac system. General Pepper, the commanding officer of the Cornerian Defense Force, sent out a call to the Star Fox team and told them their mission was to penetrate the defences of the planet Venom and defeat the forces led by Emperor Andros. Right, so in order to do this, there are 3 different courses you can take to reach the planet Venom. These 3 courses vary in difficulty, and the difficulty level is easily indicated as they are labelled level 1, 2 and 3. Let's start by looking at course 1. As with all 3 of these courses, the game starts with you seeing the ships dispatched from the base. Feel the nostalgia flow through your veins as you begin to hear the voice acting. Speaking of the voice acting, to this day I have no clue who the bloody hell is talking or what they are meant to be saying. I suppose I could look it up on Google, but that would be no fun. So what I'm going to do for you is subtitle it how I am hearing it. So here we go, flying out into Corneria. This level is pretty simple. It is almost like a training level to help you get used to the game. But saying that, there is also an optional training level in which you fly through rings, in which you can also practice on if you choose to. Instantly, as soon as the level starts, that bloody incompetent, sweaty little git, Slippy Toad, gets attacked, and you have to make the save. Who recruited this bloody idiot and let him on this team? He is awful, and as the game progresses, he is attacked all the time and is constantly pleading for help. If I was Fox McCloud, I would give him a slap. At the end of this stage, like on all stages in this game, you encounter a boss, this time named the Attack Carrier. The reveal for this boss, like so many in the game, is fantastic. You hear the computer say, "Incoming enemy." Ominous music begins to play. Then you see the boss's shadow looming over your ship. The ship slowly turns around to face you, then the music completely shifts gears to high tempo boss fight music as it begins to launch its attacks. People can complain about the ugly graphics in this game all they like. However, one thing I will say, the graphics were certainly realistic enough to give an impressionable young 7-year-old such as myself nightmares about this game. I can recall having dreams set in the real world, seeing these polygon motherships descend towards Earth. And this was years before Independence Day. Absolutely terrifying. Anyway, the boss fight doesn't provide much of a challenge. You just shoot the bits that light up and it's dead in no time. The following level is in space, and you shift to a first-person perspective, giving the game a Star Wars-esque feel. This is another short, simple level in which you avoid incoming asteroids and shoot the odd enemy. The boss at the end is the Rock Crusher. This boss has one particular dirty trick up its sleeve after you destroy its first set of hitboxes. It offloads half a ship at you, which you will need to avoid. You then take out one more hitbox, which is flashing right in the centre of the ship. Then it's dead. Stage 3 is even more Star Wars like. You fly straight through the middle of a space battalion, sometimes even through the middle of motherships, and you must blow up the mothership's core. It is very satisfying seeing your ship fly out as you see the enemy slowly crumbling, then exploding in a ball of doom. Stage 4, you end up flying along the surface of an asteroid. The real challenge here is the system's capabilities themselves, as large objects can appear in front of you with little to no notice. There is an extremely fun boss fight at the end of the stage against the Dancing Insector, which is a spider-shaped machine. It's pretty much like torturing a spider when you're a child. You slowly pull off all the legs, then kill it with fire. Stage 5, you find yourself flying high above Venom. There are these triangle polygon things flying straight at you coming from the surface. No real challenge, but you've got to take them out as you take on other aircrafts at the same time. You then take on another boss, this time an easy enemy named Fantron. You take out its lifeline, then you see it fall to the planet's surface. For stage 6, you then descend down to the surface of Venom in a spiral nosedive of doom. There are big nasty storm clouds in the sky, thunder and lightning, and you pretty much descended into a green version of hell. If you do not know what you are doing, this level provides mild difficulty. You have polygon shapes all over the place appearing out of thin air trying to kill you. This can be really tricky if you have never played before. You have to contend with this along with a slew of enemy fighters. You eventually get to the boss and have to take out Fantron again. This time, however, the sneaky little git sprouts out legs and goes absolutely mental. This is the toughest part of the game yet, but again, none of it is too challenging. You eventually defeat him, then a hole in the planet appears and you descend even further into hell. You soon find yourself in a tunnel, similar to those of which you were in the battalion stage. That sweaty little ape Andros begins to start taunting you over the intercom as you avoid obstacles through the tunnel. Eventually you end up in what appears to be a colourful acid trip, in which you avoid squares that are flying at you from behind. Eventually all these squares merge together to reveal the Transformers logo. The face starts spitting loads of polygons at you, so you shoot it in the eyes, which blows the Transformers logo up. This then reveals Andros hiding inside a cube, so you blow him up as well. I was so proud and excited about beating this game that I called my parents into the room to watch the end credits scroll with me. I had so much fun playing this game, and this was the first game I ever beat. I was one proud 7-year-old. I loved this bloody game so much, and I forever always foresee myself coming back for one more flight in the Lilac system. This game is where 3D console gaming began, and what a beginning it was. Is it worth taking the easy route? Most certainly. If you're an old timer like myself, it is a fun nostalgia trip, and if you're new to the franchise, it offers a fun challenge. Later this week, I shall be releasing another video on this game, covering both the intermediate and hard route. I just had so much to say about this game, I couldn't fit it all in one video. So what I would say is I would urge you to subscribe to my channel so you do not miss the next instalment. Cheerio!